Hey Taurus, welcome back to the channel. I need to talk to you about something really serious that is coming through in the cards right now. This energy is heavy, and I am picking up on someone in your life who is going through something incredibly difficult. The cards are showing me a person who is reaching a breaking point, and honestly, this reading shook me a bit because of how raw and vulnerable this energy feels. Before we dive in, I just want to say that if you are resonating with this reading, please know that asking for help is not weakness. What the cards are showing me today is about someone who has been carrying too much for too long, and they are finally reaching that moment where they cannot do it alone anymore. This could be someone close to you, or this could be your own energy, but either way, the universe is bringing this forward because healing needs to happen. Let me pull the cards and see what is really going on here. The first card I am drawing for you, Taurus, is the Two of Swords. When I saw this card come through, I immediately felt this sense of someone being completely stuck in their own mind. This person has been avoiding a major decision or reality for so long that it has literally paralyzed them. The Two of Swords shows someone blindfolded, holding two swords in a defensive position. And what strikes me most about this card is the water behind the figure, which represents emotions that have been completely blocked off. This person has convinced themselves that if they just do not look at the problem, if they just keep those swords crossed and stay in this position of denial, then maybe the situation will resolve itself. But Taurus, that is not how life works, and the cards are showing me that this avoidance has created so much internal pressure that this person is now suffering in ways they never imagined. The mental strain of constantly trying to hold two opposing thoughts, two conflicting realities, two different versions of what they want versus what they know they need to do. It is breaking them down from the inside. What makes this even more intense is that the Two of Swords often appears when someone has been lying to themselves. Not small lies, but fundamental denials about their situation. Maybe they have been telling themselves they are fine when they are falling apart. Maybe they have been pretending a toxic situation is manageable when it is actually destroying them. Maybe they have been acting strong for everyone else while completely neglecting their own breaking point. The energy I am picking up is someone who wakes up every day and puts on a mask. They go through the motions. They smile when they need to smile. They show up when they need to show up. But underneath all of that, there is a person who is drowning in indecision, anxiety, and fear. The Two of Swords is not a card of peace, even though the figure looks calm. It is a card of forced stillness, of being so afraid to make the wrong move that you make no move at all. And that stagnation is toxic. I am also seeing that this person has been cutting themselves off from their emotions, because feeling would mean acknowledging how bad things really are. The blindfold is self-imposed. They do not want to see the truth because the truth is terrifying to them right now. And here is what is happening. By refusing to choose, by refusing to see, they have actually made things exponentially worse. The problems have grown. The consequences have multiplied. And now they are standing at a crossroads where both options feel impossible. This is someone who needs to remove that blindfold and face reality, no matter how painful it is. The Two of Swords is saying that the breakdown that is coming is actually necessary because it is going to force this person to finally see what they have been avoiding. Sometimes we have to fall apart so we can put ourselves back together in a healthier way. The second card coming through is the Hanged Man and O Taurus. This is confirming everything I just said, but taking it even deeper. The Hanged Man is a card of complete suspension, of being stuck in a situation where you cannot move forward and you cannot go back. This person feels absolutely trapped. What is interesting about the Hanged Man is that the figure is hanging upside down, which means their entire perspective has been inverted. What they thought was up is down. What they thought was true is false. And they are in this painful process of having their whole worldview shattered. This card is telling me that this person has sacrificed so much trying to maintain something that was never meant to be maintained. Maybe they have been sacrificing their mental health to keep a relationship alive. Maybe they have been sacrificing their authenticity to fit into a role that was crushing their spirit. Maybe they have been sacrificing their own needs and dreams to please others or to avoid confrontation. The Hanged Man shows someone who has been in this suspended state for so long that they have normalized their own suffering. Here is what is really heartbreaking about this energy. This person thought that by staying still, by not rocking the boat, by continuing to sacrifice, that somehow things would get better. They thought their patience would be rewarded. They thought their endurance would lead to a breakthrough. But instead, they are discovering that they have just been hanging there, slowly losing themselves, and nothing has actually changed except that they are now completely depleted. The Hanged Man also speaks to a kind of martyrdom complex that this person might have developed. They might have convinced themselves that their suffering is noble, that their sacrifice is necessary, that if they just hold on a little longer, everything will make sense. But the cards are showing me that this perspective is exactly what has kept them trapped. True surrender is not about passively accepting pain. It is about releasing what no longer serves you. And this person has not been willing to let go. I am picking up feelings of helplessness, of watching your life pass by while you are stuck in this one painful moment that just keeps stretching on and on. The Hanged Man can indicate depression, a sense that nothing you do matters, that you have no control, that you are just a victim of circumstances. And while this person has definitely been through legitimate hardship, the card is also showing me that they have some power they are not using. The Hanged Man is often suspended by choice, by their own inability to make a decision and stick with it. What needs to happen here is a complete shift in perspective. This person needs to realize that the sacrifice they have been making is not serving anyone, least of all themselves. They need to understand that staying in this suspended state is actually the most harmful choice they could make. The Hanged Man is calling for a release, for a willingness to cut the rope and trust the fall, because that fall is actually what will set them free. Now let me pull the third card and we have the Four of Pentacles. Taurus, this is where the reading gets really specific about what has been holding this person back. The Four of Pentacles is a card of control, of gripping onto something so tightly out of fear that you will lose it. This person has been holding on to something. Maybe a relationship, maybe a job, maybe an identity. Maybe a sense of security, and they have been holding on with white knuckles because they are terrified of what will happen if they let go. What strikes me about the Four of Pentacles in this reading is the scarcity mindset it represents. This person believes that what they have right now is all they will ever have. They believe that if they lose this, they will never find anything better. They believe that the pain they know is safer than the uncertainty they do not know. So they have built walls around themselves and whatever they are clinging to, and those walls have become a prison. I am seeing someone who has been operating from a place of fear for so long that they have forgotten what it feels like to be open, to be free, to trust in the flow of life. The Four of Pentacles shows a figure sitting alone, clutching coins, and what is so sad about this image is that while they are protecting what they have, they are also blocking anything new from coming in. No new opportunities, no new love, no new experiences, because their hands and their heart are too full of fear to receive anything else. This card is also showing me control issues. This person might have been trying to control every aspect of a situation, micromanaging, trying to force outcomes, refusing to accept that some things are beyond their power to fix or change. And that need for control has been exhausting them. When you are the Four of Pentacles, you cannot rest because you are always on guard, always worried, always calculating, always preparing for the worst. I am also picking up that this person might have some deep-seated fears around worthiness and abundance. They might not believe they deserve better, so they settle for less. They might not believe that the universe will provide for them, so they hoard whatever scraps they have. The Four of Pentacles can indicate someone who has been hurt before, who has experienced loss or betrayal, and who has decided that the safest thing to do is to never be vulnerable again. But here is the truth that the cards are revealing. This strategy is not working anymore. Holding on this tightly is causing more pain than letting go ever could. This person is realizing that what they thought was security has actually become their cage. The Four of Pentacles is telling them that true security comes from within, from knowing that you can handle whatever comes, from trusting that you are resourceful and resilient enough to rebuild if necessary. The breakthrough that is coming is going to involve this person finally loosening their grip. They are going to have to make peace with uncertainty. They are going to have to choose trust over control, and that is terrifying for them right now, which is why they are breaking down. But that breakdown is the beginning of their breakthrough. Let me pull the fourth card, and we have the Eight of Pentacles. Now, this is interesting because the Eight of Pentacles is usually a very positive card about mastery, dedication, and hard work paying off. But in the context of this reading, I am seeing it differently. I am seeing someone who has been working themselves to the bone, who has been so focused on perfecting something or proving themselves that they have completely lost sight of why they started in the first place. The Eight of Pentacles shows a craftsman bent over their workbench, diligently creating pentacles one by one. It is a card of repetition, of doing the same thing over and over, refining and improving. But what I am picking up for this person is that this dedication has crossed the line into obsession or compulsion. They have been using work, using productivity, using this constant doing as a way to avoid feeling, to avoid facing the issues that the previous cards have highlighted. This person might be a workaholic. They might be someone who fills every moment of their day with tasks and obligations, so they do not have to sit with their thoughts. They might be chasing perfection, because they believe that if they can just get everything right, then they will finally feel okay, then they will finally feel worthy, then they will finally feel safe. But that moment never comes because the goalpost keeps moving. The Eight of Pentacles in this position is showing me someone who has been trying to earn their way out of pain. Maybe they think if they work hard enough, they can prove to someone that they are worth loving. Maybe they think if they are productive enough, they can justify their existence. Maybe they think if they are perfect enough, no one can criticize or abandon them. And so they have been grinding, pushing, forcing themselves to keep going even when they are completely exhausted. What is really sad about this energy is that this person probably has incredible skills and talents. The Eight of Pentacles represents true mastery, and I am sure this person is very good at what they do. But they have been so focused on the doing that they have neglected the being. They have forgotten how to rest, how to play, how to simply exist without producing something. Their entire sense of worth has become tied to their output, and that is an unsustainable and damaging way to live. I am also seeing that this person might be working on the wrong things. The Eight of Pentacles can sometimes indicate someone who is putting massive effort into something that is never going to give them what they truly need. Maybe they are trying to fix a relationship that requires both people to show up, but they are doing all the work. Maybe they are trying to meet standards that are impossible or irrelevant. Maybe they are perfecting skills in an area that does not align with their authentic path. The message here is that effort and dedication are valuable, but they need to be directed wisely and balanced with self-care. This person is reaching a breaking point where they are realizing that all their hard work has not brought them the peace or security they were seeking. They are exhausted. They are burning out. And they are starting to question whether any of this has been worth it. Now I am pulling the fifth card, and it is the Seven of Pentacles. Taurus, this card is so significant right now because the Seven of Pentacles is literally about stopping to assess your progress and questioning whether your efforts are yielding the results you want. This is the card of reevaluation, of standing back and looking at what you have been investing your time, energy, and resources into, and honestly asking yourself if it is working. The Seven of Pentacles shows a farmer leaning on their tool, looking at the plants they have been cultivating. And there is this sense of exhaustion mixed with uncertainty. Have I been tending the right garden? Are these plants actually going to bear fruit? Have I wasted months or years on something that is never going to give me what I need? These are the questions this person is asking themselves right now, and the answers are not comforting. This card is confirmation that the person in this reading, whether it is you or someone connected to you, is in a moment of serious doubt and reflection. They have been patient. They have been consistent. They have done everything they thought they were supposed to do. But when they look at their life right now, they are not seeing the harvest they expected. They are seeing struggle, disappointment, unfulfilled promises, and dreams that seem further away than ever. The Seven of Pentacles often comes up when someone has been investing heavily in something that is not reciprocating that investment. Maybe it is a relationship where they give and give but receive very little back. Maybe it is a career path they have been pursuing for years, but the recognition or success never materializes. Maybe it is a pattern or belief system they have been following, but it keeps leading them to the same painful place. What I am picking up strongly is frustration and weariness. This person is tired, not just physically tired, but soul tired. They are tired of waiting. They are tired of hoping. They are tired of trying. They are tired of putting on a brave face when inside they are falling apart. The Seven of Pentacles is that moment where you finally admit to yourself that something is not working, and that admission is both terrifying and relieving at the same time. This card is also about the courage to walk away from a bad investment. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do is to recognize that continuing down a path is going to cost you more than starting over somewhere new. The Seven of Pentacles is asking this person to be brutally honest with themselves about what is actually serving them versus what they are clinging to out of fear of loss or fear of admitting they were wrong. I am seeing that this person is on the verge of making some really important decisions about their future. They are questioning everything right now, and while that feels destabilizing, it is actually a necessary part of their growth. The Seven of Pentacles is the pause before the pivot, the assessment before the action, and this person is gathering the courage to make changes that are long overdue. The final card I am pulling for you, Taurus, is the Four of Wands, and this is actually bringing some hope into this heavy reading. The Four of Wands is a card of celebration, of homecoming, of finding stability and joy after a period of struggle. What this card is telling me is that on the other side of this breakdown, on the other side of this person finally admitting they need help and making the necessary changes, there is genuine happiness waiting for them. The Four of Wands represents a foundation that is solid, relationships that are supportive, and a sense of peace that comes from being authentic and aligned with your truth. This is what this person has been searching for all along, but they have been looking in all the wrong places and using all the wrong methods. They have been trying to build stability through control, through sacrifice, through perfectionism, through denial. But real stability comes from honesty, vulnerability, and healthy choices. What excites me about the Four of Wands appearing in this reading is that it is showing me this person is going to come through this crisis transformed. The breakdown they are experiencing right now is not the end of their story. It is actually the beginning of a much better chapter. When you finally stop running from your truth, when you finally ask for the help you need, when you finally release what is not serving you, you create space for what is actually meant for you. The Four of Wands is also about community and support. This card is telling me that this person is not going to have to rebuild alone. There are people who care about them, who want to help them, who have been waiting for them to let down their walls. This person has been isolated in their struggle, partly by their own doing because they have been too ashamed or too proud to admit they are not okay. But the Four of Wands is saying that connection and celebration are possible, that joy is possible, that a sense of belonging and home is absolutely within reach. I am also seeing that the Four of Wands can represent a new beginning in terms of how this person relates to themselves. They are going to learn how to celebrate their own existence without needing to earn it through achievement or approval. They are going to discover what it means to feel at home in their own skin, to feel safe in their own life, to trust that they are enough exactly as they are. This card is the light at the end of the tunnel. It is the promise that healing is possible, that happiness is possible, that peace is possible. But to get there, this person has to do the hard work of facing everything the previous cards have shown. They have to remove the blindfold of the Two of Swords and see their reality clearly. They have to release the suspension of the Hanged Man and be willing to let go of what is keeping them stuck. They have to loosen the grip of the Four of Pentacles and trust that security comes from flexibility, not rigidity. They have to redirect the energy of the Eight of Pentacles toward what truly matters. And they have to honor the wisdom of the Seven of Pentacles and make changes based on their honest assessment. So Taurus, if this reading is resonating with you personally, or if you recognize this energy in someone you love, please hear this message from the cards. Breaking down is not failure. Admitting you need help is not weakness. Feeling ashamed of where you are right now is human, but you do not have to stay in that shame. The path forward requires courage, yes, but it also requires compassion for yourself. It requires you to be as kind to yourself as you would be to a friend going through the same thing. The cards are showing me that this situation is reaching a critical point where something has to change because the current state is unsustainable. And honestly, that is a good thing. Sometimes we need things to fall apart so we can rebuild them in a way that actually works. Sometimes we need to hit a wall so we finally turn in a different direction. Sometimes we need to completely break open so that the light can finally get in. If you are the one struggling right now, please reach out to someone. Talk to a friend, talk to a therapist, talk to someone you trust. You do not have to carry this alone anymore. And if you know someone who is going through this, be patient with them. They are fighting battles you might not fully understand. Your presence and support could be exactly what helps them find their way to that Four of Wands energy. Thank you so much for being here, Taurus. I hope this reading brought you some clarity and comfort, even though it dealt with heavy topics. Remember that the cards always show us what we need to see, not necessarily what we want to see. And right now, the message is about the importance of honesty, vulnerability, and asking for help when you need it. Sending you so much love and light. Take care of yourself.